Okay, welcome to Ice, Salt, and Buttery with intent to satisfy. Today we're going to make a carrot cake. Now, carrot cake is either one of the things that you love or you hate. Okay, I have never found anyone who's like, okay, carrot cake, it's okay, I'll eat it. Like I said, it's either love it or hate it. But some people love it, so that's why I'm going to make it today. Anyway, so carrot cake, basic carrot cake. This is, well, I'm doing a little bit better than just a basic carrot cake, okay? So what I'm doing here is a little bit more advanced carrot cake, okay? And I'll show you a couple tricks. Now, I already have the butter, the brown sugar, and the white sugar in here, and I'm just doing a half a batch. Okay, I'll give you the instructions for a complete batch. And while I'm mixing it up, I'm preheating the oven to 350 degrees. Okay, now I have here the butter and stuff, okay? And you don't need anything, you don't need a fancy mixer or anything for this. If you happen to have one and you want to use it, hey, more power to you, makes it easier. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and add the oil. If you want to be fancier, you can use grapeseed oil, but you can get away with regular vegetable oil, okay? It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Now we have here a really good liquid going on, really good liquidy thing going on. So let's go ahead and add the egg. Remember, always crack the egg on a flat surface. That way you reduce the amount of shells that you get into what you're making. Okay, now we have here grated carrot. Now, the carrot can be grated as smooth or as fine or as coarse as you want. I went for kind of a medium grating, okay? See? We're starting to get a carrot cake here because we have the carrots in here. Now, interesting thing is, at the time of the Romans, carrots were actually white. And they were not nearly as sweet as they are now. So they were closer in flavor to a parsnip. The reason we have the orange sweet carrots that we do now is because of selective breeding, trying to get more flavor and get them sweeter, okay? Now, we have the flour. We have the cinnamon, the leavening agent, and the salt. And once again, I will have all of the list of ingredients listed for you so that you can have those before you even start. Okay, now I have already prepped the pan that this is going into. Like I said, I'm only making half a batch. Okay. So, mix. Once this is mixed in, at this point, if you choose to, you can add raisins or walnuts. Now, one trick that I came across, which I did not know at first, is if you're going to add raisins or walnuts or anything like that to your cake mix or something like that, and you don't want it to all fall to the bottom, what you want to do is you want to actually mix some flour into it. And you don't add extra flour to the recipe because that will change the proportions and have things not work out properly. Instead, what you do is you take some of the flour from the recipe, put it into a separate bowl or a Ziploc bag or something like that, and then you mix the raisins or the walnuts or whatever with the flour, and then you mix that in. That gets the rest of the flour that you're getting for the recipe and keeps all that from dropping to the bottom or floating up to the top. It helps distribute it properly. Now, here we have one really simple half batch of carrot cake, okay? As you can see, we have the carrots. I actually used some currants this time, but you can use currants, you can use raisins, you can throw in some walnuts, okay? Whatever you want, walnuts, almonds, pecans, whatever. Anyway, this is like many other things, it's all a matter of personal taste. And experiment a little bit. If you want to, add a little bit of dash of vanilla if that's the flavor you prefer. Okay. I don't see why this couldn't be done with chocolate chips too. Hey, why not? But the person I'm making it for loves this carrot cake with raisins. So I cheated a little bit. Didn't happen to have any raisins, but I did have currants. So we have the oven preheating. We have the pan, which I'm going to cook this cake in, already pre-greased. Okay, you always want to do that. It makes it a lot easier to get things out of it without it all falling apart. Now, put this into the pan. Have the oven already at 350 degrees. So, in other words, do not do this on the hottest day of the summer or everyone's going to get upset with you. Okay. And smooth this out a bit. Now it does make kind of a dense cake. Okay. Oh, and that is my oven saying it is perfectly ready to go now. Now we smooth this out a bit. Okay. And if you wish to, lick the bowl. Okay. Hey, I love me a brown sugar mix. Anyway. So now this is going into the oven, and once it is all cooked, we'll bring it out and take a look at it and see how wonderful it is. Anyway, thank you for listening. This is A Salt and Buttery with intent to satisfy. And hold on. There's going to be a little tiny intermission while this cooks, and then when it's done, I'll pull it out and we'll take a look at it and say, yum. Anyway, you have a great day. Okay, now we have a perfectly cooked carrot cake. It was in the oven at 350 degrees for about 30 minutes. Now, time will vary depending on your oven. Now, if you take a look, part of the reason I like to use a clear pan is then I can see this, I can see the browning around the edges, and so I can see the light browning on the bottom. Okay, that means it's perfectly cooked on the outside. Now we do the finger test, and it comes right back up after a light poke, and then we do the test with a skewer or a butter knife or something like that, and see the blade comes out clear. I mean, a little bit of cake crumb came out on it, but that is fine. This is a perfectly cooked carrot cake. And as you can see, we have the carrots in it. We have the raisins or the currants in it. You can throw walnuts in it. You can do a lot of different things. You can throw a little bit of orange juice in it. Just be careful, because if you go adding more liquid, you have to add more dry stuff, and then you lose the carroty flavor. Okay. Now you can do, if you want to add some orange flavor, I'd actually recommend some orange zest instead, because then you don't have to compensate for the extra liquid in the cake, which means you have to cook it longer, increases the chance of burning it. Not a good situation. Anyway, so go ahead, give this a try. Let me know what you think. Have some fun with this. Adjust it to your liking. If you don't like cinnamon, use some nutmeg. Okay? You can use some cardamom. You can vary this so many different ways to personalize it and make it the carrot cake that you love. Okay? So have some fun with this. Let me know what you think. Thank you. And once again, this is A Salt and Buttery with intent to satisfy.